Let me correct that. I yield 3 minutes to the gentleman from New York.
The gentleman from New York is recognized for 3 minutes.
I thank the distinguished chairman of the Appropriations Committee. Madam Speaker, this bill does in fact combine various other appropriations measures, but those measures in their totality clearly reflect the top priorities of the American people, and in fact, every one of those bills separately passed with significant Republican support by significant bipartisan majorities in this House. The reason that this bill in its totality makes sense and should, with all due respect, attract the support of my friends from the other side of the aisle is because it does in fact fund the global war on terror, it funds our defense, it funds military construction, but it also funds America's other priorities. It funds our troops, but it also takes care of our veterans, the largest increase in veterans health care in the 77-year history of the VA. It funds our defense with a robust military, but it also funds the war on cancer with increased investments in the NCI and the NIH. It funds our military so that we can achieve global stability, but it also gives working families and middle-class taxpayers a little bit of a break, actually more than a little bit of a break, a significant break on their college expenses so that our kids can compete in a globally competitive environment. And I would conclude, Madam Speaker, by suggesting that the differences between where the administration is and where we are should not be minimized. They are significant. As the chairman said, this administration is arguing over a $22 billion increased investment with one hand, and on the other hand, telling the American people that they have to come up with another $200 billion for Iraq. We are spending $12 billion a month in Iraq. The difference between where the administration is and where we are on these other priorities is 2 months in Iraq. We want $880 million in increased investments for LIHEAP so that senior citizens don't have to shiver in the cold because their heating costs are too high. That's 2.5 days in Iraq, that $880 million. We want to invest $1 billion in medical research for people with cancer, with Alzheimer's, with Parkinson's. That's 3 days in Iraq. Our $1 billion investment covers an entire year. The administration's strategy covers 3 days in Iraq. We want $1.4 billion for the entire year for improved health care access. With this administration, this equivalent cost is 4 days in Iraq. We want $1.8 billion in increased investments to keep American streets safe with additional law enforcement and additional police. The administration says we can't afford to keep America's streets safe, but is willing to spend an equivalent amount over 5 days in Iraq. This bill reflects the priorities of the American people. Separately, the components passed with overwhelming Republican support. This should be a bipartisan effort. It should be a bipartisan effort because, number one, it supports our troops, provides for a robust defense, and takes care of our priorities here at home as well. I thank the Speaker and yield back.
The gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from California.